What if the voice of the working class was just a well-rehearsed script? Angela Rayner claims to fight for you, but behind the red hair and loud slogans, is there any real action? While Britain struggles with rising bills and broken promises, Labour hides behind flashy words and staged moments. In this video, we expose the truth they don't want you to hear. Stay to the end, because what we've uncovered about Rayner and Reeves will leave you speechless.
Well, I think there's been frustrations, and I can completely understand people's frustrations because we were elected on a mandate for change and people want to see
Breaking news here in batshit bonkers Britain, where Labour have announced that they are the party for business. And you know that because they were in a business when they announced it. Meanwhile, Angela Rayner was in a mosque saying that Labour are the party for Palestinians. So if you're a Palestinian businessman, Labour are 100% the party for you. It also explains why Diane Abbott hasn't been allowed back into the fold yet. The human calculator was last seen wearing two different shoes but for the same foot.
Welcome to conference. My name is Chancellor Rachel Reeves. Ceramic bobhead, hair by Lego, dress by Lord Ali, fresh from Keir Starmer's shitter, and heating provided by the
slogans. These are structural problems that we've had in our economy and in our society for a long time, and therefore turning it around does take a little bit more than 7 months.
But you started off and moved in up here, massive majority, 7 months in, you're down there. Now, for some reason, the message is not getting through. We know now that the Prime Minister had a voice coach. You're a straight talker. What tips would you give him if that was your job?
Well, Keir has been completely open about wanting to do his best for this country, and I admire him for that. I've worked with Keir now for a number of years. Now, I am straight talking. Me and Keir don't always agree on everything. But the one thing I will say about him is he won't do what he thinks is popular. What he wants to do is deliver, because there's nobody worse critic.
Ginger hair that comes from here, each side, but it's massive. Either she's got really big hair or she's stuck bits of extra hair here and here. But it's really disturbing because when she's like next to Keir Starmer, I feel like this ginger hair is just getting bigger and bigger. Like, I feel like one day her ginger hair is going to be like, you know, the creeping ivy and just like climb its way around Keir Starmer's nutsack and wrestle him back down from these. What is this? Is it real? Is it growing as you watch? How has she got so much red hair? And what does it mean? And where's it coming from? And is it if she sticks it on, why does she stick it on? And when she takes it off, what happens to her? And does her power come from her red hair? These are all really important things, but next time you watch, well, you probably don't watch, but if you glance at the bullshit that is the House of Commons, which we know is absolute bullshit, and all of that lot of criminals, in my view, all of them, I think her red hair is starting to go up Keir Starmer's track.
3-hour week, and they all get £1 million and 15 weeks holidays and only 2 days work, you know, all that sort of stuff that isn't very realistic. The least realistic clause in her swirling mass of fantasy nonsense about workers' rights was the right to switch off. This would be the clause in which it would be illegal for bosses to expect their staff to be contactable outside of working hours. So bosses would be, by law, banned from trying to email their staff, give their staff a ring for anything that might crop up outside of business hours. Now, there's a lot of businesses that would need that. I mean, my job, my whole career, I had to be contactable, actually 24/7 if you want to know it, but that's journalism for you. But so many businesses, the bosses have got to have the right to, you know, phone up the foreman or whoever if they need.
In my understanding of how he works and my personal experience with him is if he will be feeling harder if he doesn't meet the target that he sets himself to make people better off than anything any poll could tell him or any election result. He will want to drive to win for the people of this country and to deliver what he promised and set out that he was going to achieve.
So you say he's his own worst critic?
He would be, yeah, absolutely.
But a new book reports that you said he couldn't run a bath. Did you say that?
Well, I'm not, you know, there's a lot of things that were said in that book that I don't.
Oh, Billy Big Bollocks, Keir Starmer, says he's prepared to make some unpopular decisions. But beware of this, it's a sleight of hand. Because we can all live with something.
unpopular with the doctors if you decided to say, actually, we can't afford to pay you more. You get more when you're a consultant, so just hang in there. It would be...
The same goes for pensioner support. While Labour speaks out about helping the elderly,
what he means when he says unpopular is irrational, unreasonable, and targeted on the very people who are working hard, paying their taxes, and are squeezed the most by every other doing bugger all.
Thing we've just said, no, I absolutely didn't say it. I'll tell you why she's not denying it, is because she fears she might have been recorded.
Yep.
So she did say it. She fears she might be recorded, and if she said, no, I didn't say it, somebody say, well, you did. And that would be toast for her. So she did say that Keir Starmer couldn't run a bath, which is one of the very few accurate things Angela...
Actually, the private conversations that I did have during the passage of the bill, which did get passed, and I did pass the bill, and I wholeheartedly supported the government at the time in passing the line of succession bill through Parliament.
But you're not denying it?
As I've said, the bill was passed. I had conversations with the government of the time and the civil servants around how that bill gets through Parliament, and that bill went through Parliament without any problems, and you know, I led that.
Did you see that? Angela Rayner exposed, and Rachel Reeves didn't do much better. If you've just watched that video and you're still trying to process what you saw, you're not alone. Let's be brutally honest, that wasn't leadership. That was theatre. Staged, scripted, superficial theatre, wrapped in slogans and dressed up in carefully styled hair and empty sound bites. Angela Rayner might shout the loudest in the room, but when it comes to substance, she's whispering nothing. Let's break down what just happened, and why it matters more than ever. Angela Rayner, the working-class hero who's never there when it counts. She loves to remind us she's one of us, raised on a council estate, single mum at 16, real-world experience. That's her badge of honor, her shield, her entire political brand. But here's the question, what has she actually done for the working class since getting into power? Because when bills go up, wages stagnate, and people are choosing between heating and eating, Rayner's nowhere to be seen. Instead, she's parading around conferences, dropping recycled phrases like leveling up and fighting for fairness without telling us how or when or with what funding. You saw it yourself. Not one straight answer, not one detailed plan, not one moment where she looked the British people in the eye and said, here's the truth. Rachel Reeves, the queen of contradictions. Now let's talk about Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor-in-Waiting. She strutted onto that stage like a business CEO, complete with her Lego hairdo and robotic delivery. She wants us to believe Labour is the party of business. Really? The same Labour that just promised to ban bosses from contacting employees outside work hours? You cannot claim to champion business while simultaneously threatening the flexibility that keeps small firms alive. It's a contradiction so glaring, it borders on comedy. Reeves tries to appear composed, professional, polished, but look closer and the cracks are all there. The same old Labour message hidden under a new coat of paint. Tax more. Spend more. Redistribute. But only after taking a generous slice for themselves. Let's talk about that hair, and what it really symbolizes. You probably laughed when we brought up Rayner's red hair growing like ivy around Starmer's head, but it's not just a joke. That hair is the perfect metaphor. All style, no substance. A loud, bold statement designed to distract from the absence of real policy. Because if we focus on the hair, maybe we'll forget the fact that she's offered zero concrete solutions to the housing crisis. That energy bills are soaring and Labour's plan is, what exactly? A slogan on a leaflet? A viral tweet? You've been lied to, repeatedly. Rayner tells you she's for the workers. Reeves tells you she's for business. But the truth is, they are both for themselves. They've figured out the game. Say just enough to get applause, throw out buzzwords that make headlines, avoid any real accountability, and carry on enjoying the perks of politics. And here's where you come in, because the people who will suffer under this charade are you. You, the one working overtime just to stay afloat. You, the one trying to buy your first home while prices spiral out of reach. You, the one watching your energy bills double and wondering if anyone in Westminster actually understands how tough it is out here. Rayner avoids the questions because she doesn't have answers. Time and again, she dodges. Ask her about the housing crisis? She pivots to platitudes. Press her on rising energy bills? She blames the Tories without presenting any viable alternative. That's not leadership. That's cowardice masquerading as confidence. And Reeves? Reeves is no better. Behind the stiff speeches is someone who's terrified of scrutiny, who wants power but doesn't want the burden of explaining how it'll be used. She offers surface-level promises with no roadmap, because deep down, she knows the numbers don't add up. The war on free speech, and the hypocrisy of the Labour elite. Don't think we didn't notice this either. The push to silence dissent, the attacks on independent media, the cries for more hate speech laws that just happen to target voices that disagree with them. They want to be untouchable, to say what they want, do what they want, and shut down anyone who dares challenge the narrative, all while claiming to defend freedom and democracy. But remember, real democracy needs debate. It thrives on dissent. And when a party starts trying to control what you can say, what you can read, what you can watch, it's not just hypocrisy. It's dangerous. They cancelled elections because they knew they'd lose. Yes, you heard that right. Labour, the so-called champions of democracy, cancelled local elections. Why? Because they feared the results. Because they didn't want to face you, the voters. What does that tell you? It tells you they are not confident. It tells you they know their message isn't landing. It tells you the entire party is running on fear, smoke, and mirrors, not courage or conviction. You deserve better than this. If this video showed you anything, it's that we are living in a political circus. And Rayner and Reeves are two of the loudest clowns in the tent. But here's the thing, you're not powerless. You have a voice. You have a vote. And most importantly, you have the ability to see through the nonsense. So ask yourself, are you better off today than you were 5 years ago? Has Labour given you a reason to trust them again? Do you want more slogans or actual solutions? Because the choice is coming. And no matter how much red hair Rayner grows, or how many stage speeches Reeves gives, the truth can't be hidden forever. We see you, Labour, and we're not buying it. The mask is slipping. The promises are empty. And Britain is watching. If you agree, share this video. Talk to your friends. Comment below. Because the more people see through the illusion, the closer we get to a country that's led, not performed. And that starts with truth.